Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to be talking to the president of the Texas Young Lawyers Association, and she's going to share her journey and the challenges of leading a statewide organization during COVID. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So I have great admiration for anybody who campaigns and wins a statewide office. And I'm talking to one such person, Brittany Harrison. She is the president of the Texas Young Lawyers Association. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I've got to brag about you because she's a delightful young lady, very successful for being so young. And you campaigned statewide. You knocked on doors. Tell us that story.
So it was, for me as a natural introvert, it was very, a little overwhelming for me, but I just went in there and I got to talk about the Texas Young Lawyers Association rather than have to talk about myself. And that's what made it a little bit easier. But we were going door to door at firms across the state of Texas. And I think I went to 11 cities in 20 days.
That's amazing. And so then you get elected, which I'm sure was a huge triumph for you.
It was, yes.
And then COVID happens.
Yes. One thing they always tell us, just in bar service, is they say the year you plan is not the year you get. So I could never have predicted that we'd be doing all of our board work virtually through Zoom and working with people that we haven't actually gotten to meet in person ever. But it's been challenging, but it's been great, and we've done a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time.
And you're a natural born leader for an introvert. I applaud you because I know you have to really kind of psych yourself up to do this, including you gave a keynote speech when you were sworn in, and it was during COVID, so you really had to think and pray about what you would say. We're going to run a clip. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
And I was really impressed. And as older lawyers, we worry about, particularly in today's society, where are the leaders and where are they going to come from? And I realized then, and as I realize now, Brittany is one of those leaders. I went over the oath that I'm going to go through with her, and I realized, my goodness, that oath sounds awfully familiar. We've all heard oaths similar to this, to the highest positions in the land. And what would not surprise me any in the future, that this will not be the last time Brittany takes an oath for higher office. Brittany, are you ready?
I am.
Okay, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Brittany Harrison,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of president
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of president
of the Texas Young Lawyers Association
of the Texas Young Lawyers Association
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and the laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I present to you Brittany Harrison, the president of the Texas Young Lawyers Association.
Thank you, Tom. Wow, I'm so excited to be here and honored to be sworn in as your TYLA president. I never envisioned being sworn in during a global pandemic and amongst all of this civil unrest, but alas, here we are. Despite all of this, I'm genuinely grateful to be leading the young lawyers of Texas.
You have so much poise. I mean, I would never have known that you were nervous.
Oh, yes.
What did that feel like?
Well, it was extremely hot that day. I was June 6th, so it was a little hot. But it was really fun because I had Tom there. He's one of my favorite people I love working with. And just kind of having him, and my sister was present, my paralegal Matt, and just I felt like my close family here in Dallas was there. And it was just really nice to feel the love and feel the support, and that kind of helped me get through the speech.
Yes.
Trying not to stammer too much.
Tell everybody kind of the mission of the Texas Young Lawyers Association.
Well, we are the public service arm of the State Bar of Texas. And so what we try and do is teach the rule of law and make sure we can give equal access to justice and just keeping those principles at the forefront. And so we like to educate other students, law students, other attorneys on just different principles, and also provide resources that our members can use as well as resources for the general public.
Yeah, and you're coming up on the end of your year.
I am. It's a little sad.
So as you look back on this year, which was very challenging, leading a statewide organization of volunteers, largely via Zoom,
Yes.
right? What would you say would be your biggest highlight?
I think, that's a good one. There's been so many really high moments. I think just seeing all these board members coming together and working with people outside of me, because everyone's still practicing attorneys, so that I have a day job, but then doing all of this just for the love of service and just giving back and just getting all these wonderful projects accomplished. Like we just launched our big project, our iconic Women in Legal History.
Really?
And so that was a great project. We were able to have interviews from across the state, including Gloria Allred. She did appear on the program as one of our iconic women. So it was really, really exciting to see that come to fruition, and we launched it last week.
Very cool, very cool. And you're also a very gifted writer. We're going to put up on the screen an article you wrote for the Texas Bar Journal called "You Have a Voice." Tell us what the article is about.
So this article, actually, I didn't write it. I kind of gave answers to it. Eric for the State Bar, he wrote it.
Okay.
But it just talks about kind of my journey coming to become the president, but also just kind of my path as a lawyer and all the things that I've kind of gone through with influences from my childhood, how I've embraced my nerdiness. I've been a nerd since birth. I was 2 weeks late, so everyone said I was in my mom reading books. So it's just one of those things. I've always been this super nerd, but I embrace it now, and it's just become a part of who I am. And
telling me before the show that you have an older sister, and so you've always been fairly competitive, and I'm just going to have to work harder. Did that play a role in you running and winning?
It did, partially because my sister, she's like the public relations person, so she's always done a lot, and I've always admired her. And I think just our closeness as sisters is kind of she gave me some of the support to make me know that I could actually get out there and do it.
Cool. Well, another big accolade was D Magazine named you part of their best lawyers under 40. Mm-hmm. And that had to be kind of a showstopper for you, right?
It was. It was one of the first awards that I won as a Dallas attorney. So I started my practice in Austin. So I think the first 5.5 years I was down in Austin. And so I wasn't born or raised in Dallas, so I didn't really know many people in the community. And to get that award because you're selected by your peers, that really meant something to me. It meant that I was like, okay, I've actually become part of the community here, and I'm respected in this community. And so it really meant a lot.
I want to talk about your practice, because you practice family law.
Yes.
What's that like?
I love it. So family law is one of those areas where you can't just do a little bit of family law. You either love it or you just don't do it. And I never thought I would be a family lawyer. Didn't take family law in law school. Only exposure I had to it prior to practicing was on the bar exam. And that was one day of bar brie and then an essay. Wow. So I had no idea that I would like it. But when I was not really feeling fulfilled in my original job, I took a pro bono family law case. And after that first meeting, I was like, okay, I think this is what I was meant to do. And I took a leap, left the big firm, went to a small practice in Austin, and that's the best decision I could have ever made.
Well, now, as a family lawyer, I have to believe that you're also part therapist, right? I mean, you're seeing,
Absolutely.
You're seeing clients at often their lowest point, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, that's what we say. Family lawyers see good people at their worst. And you're dealing with people that are going through, a divorce. I've been through a divorce. It's not a fun process. And you have to kind of be the advocate, but also the counselor. And so that's kind of one thing I really love about it, because I did study a lot of psychology and sociology in college. And so that's kind of a part I get to apply some of those principles and really get to work with someone on a really individual basis and empower them where I can, advocate for them where they feel like they may not have a voice. And I just think it's what I was meant to do.
Well, I see bright things ahead for you, Brittany. I know you're not
you.
ready to announce for any other office.
Absolutely not.
You're probably going to concentrate on your current practice.
Yes.
Tell us about the firm you're with.
So I work at GoransonBain, Ausley here in Dallas. When we were able to travel, I was working kind of out of our Austin office and our Plano office. And it's a wonderful place to work. I work with attorneys that are very smart, but the culture at the firm is what really keeps you there. You feel like people are invested in you. They want to help. I can go knock on any door, or really now, hey, hit you up on Teams, whatever, virtually. And you have that support. And also just you have more experienced attorneys that get, really involved cases. And so I get to still constantly learn from others. And it's just a great place and great environment.
Wow. Well, thank you for inspiring us today. We're going to end with your website. gbafamilylaw.com is the company website. We're also going to put up TYLA.org is the Texas Young Lawyers Association website. And just thank you for blessing us with your wisdom and your grace. And I see bright things ahead. Don't be a stranger.
Thank you. For sure. I will definitely come back to see you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.